Okay, class. So what I wanted to do is delve a little bit deeper into the uploading image code. So in order to do that, start off in the image file uploader page.cs file. This is the function that gets hit when we click that button to upload the image, right? And we already know that we have the byte data from that image because we loaded it before. And if we actually look into this Azure storage upload file async method, that's really what we want to look at. We've got a container type.image and new memory stream byte data. So let's see how these two things get used in the upload file async. So let's go over to our Azure storage and let's go down to our upload file async. So right here. And what we notice right away is that we use another function in the very first line called getContainer, where we pass the container type in. So we go, okay, getContainer, got it. Let's follow that first, right? So if we get the container, that's up here, it's going to return a cloud blob container, right? This is the actual container that we're going to be interacting with for the rest of the code. And if we look, it looks at the storage connection, and that's the account that we're using, right? So this is how it knows what account it's going to use. Then it says, okay, we've got an account, create cloud blob client, just in case we don't have one, right? And then that's the client we're going to be interacting with. And then it says get the container reference, container type dot toString dot toLower. So basically, what we've got here is whatever container type we passed it, either image or text, there's going to be a corresponding image or text container up on Azure storage with those same names, right? Image and text. And I can show those to you. One moment. Storage Explorer. So if I go to Storage Explorer and I look at blob containers, I've got text and I've got image. These two I've created myself, right? But image and text, these are the two that are created from these image and text container types here. So these are really just strings that get passed in so that we can decide which container we're going to use to store these things. All right, so once we've got that cloud blob container, we return it back down to the upload file async, and it says, okay, this is the container that we're going to be using. So then we say, all right, well, you know what? If it doesn't exist yet, so if this is the first time we've ever used an image or a text container, we're going to create it if it doesn't already exist. That's just a safety mechanism, right? Because otherwise we're going to have errors if it doesn't exist. Then here we actually generate just a random name, right? We use the system.guid and get a new ID, and then we convert it to a string. And this is not necessarily the best way to create names for blobs, right? You might want a much more structured way. You might want to create yourself another CS file that creates some names that make sense to you in order to actually upload files and give them names that make sense to you in the blob storage. But for now, we've just created a random string, basically. And then we create a new file blob variable, and we say container.getBlob reference name. So basically, we're passing that new name in, and we're creating a new block blob reference. And remember, the block blobs are the type that store chunks of data like images and text and whatnot, not necessarily for streaming. And then the file blob.upload from stream async stream, that's what actually uploads the stream, right? The stream is the data that we got passed in from that image. So this is what does the actual uploading, and then once it's done, after we finished waiting, we return the name that we ended up generating so that we can store it. Right, so that's the uploaded file name. Then we store it in the uploaded file name variable so that we can use it when we download it later, right? And then we're only downloading it if it's not null or white space. But we'll get into that in the next video.